Okay, Food Scoopers, tonight we are here at the KI Around the World Dinner Series, and it's sponsored by the Knesseth Israel Congregation, and it's going to take place every month, and it's going to spotlight a different country every month, and it's going to have food from that particular country cooked kosher. So let's walk up here to the buffet and see what they've got. Oh, look, looks like some cookies right there. We've got some fruit. There's some Korean slaw right there. This is some type of japchae, sauteed Korean vermicelli with vegetables. I'm talking to the camera, yeah. With Korean barbecue beef. We've got some rice. And all this other food over here. It's a lot of food to choose from. So now I'm about to get a plate. We're gonna dig in. Alright, Food Scooper, so I got my plate. And now I've sampled everything and everything is really good. What really stands out are two things. The chicken is kind of spicy, and then this slaw right here, it's really good. It's sweet, and it says it's like a Korean slaw, but it kind of has an apple twist or flavor to it. And everything else is good, don't get me wrong, but those are my two favorites.
Right, so you want to know what kosher was?
I do.
So kosher is a few things. Right. The general idea is that there are certain dietary rules that are outlined in the Bible.
Okay.
It's in the Old Testament, and if you look in Leviticus, you'll find them. You know, don't eat this animal, don't eat that animal. You know, don't cook a kid in its mother's milk, don't eat milk and meat together. Those are some of the basic rules of kosher. Right? Some people think kosher is all about health or something like that, and really what it's about is abiding by God's laws, God's commandments.
Okay.
So the way that plays out nowadays is that, like I said, there are certain animals that can be kosher and certain animals that can't. Pig cannot be. The animals that can be kosher, mammals, have split hooves and chew their cud. So they have multiple stomachs and they have split hooves. Fish, anything that comes from the sea that has fins and scales can be kosher.
Okay.
And most fowl, almost all fowl is kosher. Birds of prey are not.
Okay.
And birds that eat carrion are not.
Okay.
Scavengers.
Okay.
So just because an animal can be kosher, however, doesn't mean that each of those animals are kosher. So you take a cow, for instance. A cow is a perfectly kosher animal. Mm-hmm. The thing is about cows, about beef, is that for mammals, they have to be slaughtered correctly. For mammals and birds, they have to be slaughtered correctly.
Okay.
And it's actually an interesting manner of slaughter. It actually has to be in one swipe of a knife. They have to sever different parts of the anatomy around their neck, so that they're in almost instantaneous death that does not cause any pain.
Okay.
And so kashrut has a lot of not just health and not just spiritual messages for us, but I think they have a lot of moral messages for us.
Okay. So do people that aren't Jewish, do we eat kosher food?
Yeah.
And we probably don't even know it.
Correct.
For example,
lettuce.
Okay.
Or anything that grows from the ground doesn't need to have special kosher supervision. Okay. Some people think that kosher means blessed by a rabbi, and it just doesn't. It just means that it has a specific status of, does it fit these categories or not? Okay. Anything that grows from the ground, essentially, in broad strokes, is kosher. Okay. So your strawberries, your apples, all that stuff is kosher. Okay. Your broccoli, all that stuff is kosher. Okay. The question is, how is it prepared, and in what environment is it prepared? Okay. If it's prepared in a perfectly kosher environment, then it's kosher. Okay. If you cook it with pork, it's not kosher. Okay. And that's kind of it. Now, fish doesn't need to be slaughtered in any special way. Okay. Fish can, as long as it has fins and scales, you go fishing, you knock it on the head, and you do what you need to do, right? Just how I used to like going fishing. So, but you just do it regular. That's about fish. And then there are some other rules, such as cooking milk and meat together. That's never allowed. Any meat product with any dairy product. So excluding fish. But so chicken and meat cannot be eaten or cooked with any dairy product.
Okay.
So if we showed you in the back, you'd see that we have a meat kitchen and a dairy kitchen.
Can we go back there and look?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure. So we try to keep everything as separate as possible, so that we kind of abide by those rules that are set out in the Bible and expounded on by the rabbis over the ages.
Okay.
And just about all this is the meat kitchen, and just about all the equipment we have in here, we have in the dairy as well. So I mean, this is just wonderful because most of this was donated or at least given at very low prices to the synagogue. And we have the ability to serve. We served a 200-person wedding from this kitchen.
Wow.
Kitchen.
This is the dairy kitchen, food scoopers.
Right. This is the dairy kitchen. Like we said, we try to keep everything separate. So we have, if you saw in the previous kitchen, we had almost all the same equipment there that we do here. So if you look around, you'll see we have the same hood, we have almost identical fridge and freezer space, the same microwave, the same oven, the same convection, a similar layout with the stoves, with the sinks. We even have an almost identical, though a little bit different, but an almost identical commercial dishwasher in here. And the reason for that is we don't mix meat utensils with dairy utensils. And the thought is that in certain types of utensils, especially things made of ceramic or porous materials, the flavors get into it. You think about seasoning a wok, right? The seasoning on the wok actually adds flavor to the food. And so not only do we not mix actual meat and actual dairy things, we also don't mix meat flavor with milk flavor. And that's why, and the laws of kashrut, the laws of keeping kosher are very, very complicated, but that's why we have completely separate everythings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit. Now I want to know, what was your motivation behind having these dinners?
So there are a few things, right? It was really not just my idea. There's one of our amazing women in our community. She's one of the real amazing leaders in our community, Beth Shear Smokey. She's a chiropractor in town, and she's on our board, and she suggested we do this because she suggested we have some kind of restaurant night because there aren't any kosher real eateries in town.
Right.
There are kosher ice cream, like we said, there might be kosher ice cream. You could get raw kosher food in the supermarkets, but there's no kosher restaurant.
Okay.
So in part, she wanted to do it as a service to the community to give people a time and place they can go out with their families.
Okay.
My motivation for this is not just that, because I believe that that's important, but my major motivation is that we're told in the Bible that the Jewish people need to be a light unto the nations. We have to be moral exemplars. We have to be spiritual exemplars.
Now that it's here, of course, they can
and we have to stand up and do what you can do to be that in the world.
Right.
And for me, and I'll say this again when I talk for a minute.
Okay.
For me, it seems ludicrous to say that we can be exemplars in the world without trying to learn about other people.
Okay.
And this is an
I
excuse.
definitely agree.
Right. And so for me, this is an excuse or a way of doing a little informal education, even if it's just food. And believe me, you tell Jews that they can eat, they'll come.
Okay.
but for me, it's about getting to know a little bit about the culture of other nations, so that we can try to take steps. And it's not just about teaching others; it's about growing yourselves and learning how to incorporate the moral messages in other cultures into what you believe.
Okay, what kind of wine do you have?
We have the dark wines from Israel.
Okay.
We have a Merlot. We have a Cabernet. We also have a Shiraz.
Okay.
We also have the white wines from Italy, Bratonora, Moscato, and Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
And we also have a brandy from Israel as well.
Okay.
It's very good.
What's the best?
What are you looking for?
Something good.
Well, they're all good. It depends. Do you want a white wine or red wine? Do you want something sweet, dry, semi-sweet?
Sweet.
Sweet for the darks, we have a Shiraz roast.
So many choices, okay?
All right, and for the whites, the sweet one is the Moscato. Can I give you a little taste of that?
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Food Scoopers, I'm about to taste some Moscato.
From Italy, Bartolino.
From Italy.
Try that.
Yeah, that's good. Moscato is my favorite most of the times anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think
we have a Merlot.
Okay, okay.
We have a Merlot.
Merlot, okay.
Would you like to try Merlot?
Yeah, let's try the Merlot.
Give me a little taste of it. Here you go, sir.
Next, I'm trying Merlot, Food Scoopers. Look at the Merlot.
That one is a Barkan. It's from Israel.
Okay. Okay. It's not my favorite.
It's not
my
mine
favorite.
It's not mine either. A lot of people like the Shiraz.
Okay.
It's a semi-sweet red wine. It's also Barkan. It's also from Israel.
Okay. Last night, well, not last night, probably about 2 nights ago, I had a port wine. And they're really sweet.
Yes.
They were good. Still, the top of my list is
The Moscato?
the Moscato.
Bartonora from Italy.
And where can I buy that from in Birmingham?
The only place I know is here, because we have it shipped in from various different places.
Oh, from the
From
synagogue.
the synagogue, yes. We have a little wine cellar, we sell it. But that's the only place I know. Because I don't. Maybe a specialty shop,
Okay.
but to be honest with you, I'm really not sure where.
That's fine. I can come to the synagogue to buy it.
Anytime. I think it's about $14 a bottle.
Totally, and we have some wine which is apparently, you know, so I don't know wine so well, but some of the wine here people say is very, very good. It's actually expensive, but very.
This is good right here.
The smallest bottle here is the most expensive.
This one.
What kind is that?
This one apparently. Which one is this?
French.
Chateau de. I can't even
It's
pronounce
a
it.
French one.
French one.
Take a picture.
Chateau de Fitzes.
That's a half bottle and it's 50 something or 70 something.
No way, really?
Yeah, something
That's
like
Is
that.
it white? It's
good
the white
stuff.
one. Let's see here. People don't ever buy it though, so it's very nice that we have it. This
Another
one.
one in a,
This
in a
one's
wood case.
$43.
It's all 43, so yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
a-
another
It
one.
looks like the most expensive.
There's one over
Well,
here.
no,
that
one's
one's 56, but it's a whole bottle.
Okay.
It's a half
This is
bottle.
like a half of a bottle.
And
So
we
it's
had
like an $80
another
bottle.
one the guy used to buy by the case, and it came in a wood box.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Plum. You have plum wine.
Do we?
I see plum.
Oh,
Yeah.
plum oil.
That's $6 a bottle or something.
Is
like
it
that,
Really,
yeah.
it's
That's,
really
screw cap.
sweet.
That-
It's really sweet. It's really it's like syrup.
Okay.
It's like syrup.
I don't
wine.
like anything that's like syrup. But
No, it's not. It's not good wine. It's, you know what? Every Sabbath we sanctify the Sabbath over a cup of wine.
Okay. And what do you mean by
used to be-
sanctifying
we
the
say
Sabbath?
blessing, a particular blessing about the sanctity and the holiness of the Sabbath,
Mm-hmm.
and we make that blessing with a cup of wine. It used to be that you couldn't. That's white wine's on the other side. It used to be that you couldn't get good kosher wine, and all they had was this kind of like sweet grape juicy stuff. So some people think of, when they think of kosher wine, they think of this like sweet, syrupy grape juice, and that's why we have some of it, because some people like it. Some people
All the grease you got.
reminisce about it.
Okay, Food Scoopers. So, as you can tell, I have learned a lot tonight. I've had a wonderful experience. The food was good. The people were so hospitable. And it was just really, really nice and fun. And can I say Food Scoopalicious? So, stay tuned for the next entry. Thanks.